So there are a lot of peaceful protests going on and even some riots going on. The main purpose for these marches is to raise awareness for racism that's still going on today. So currently there are thousands of people marching in multiple cities all around America in support of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement. But what happened to social distancing? You have all these people clustered together marching down the street. But is this really sanitary? If coronavirus is as contagious as the World Health Organization and the media is portraying it out to be, then why are they allowing these protests to go on? Like, wouldn't all these people get sick? They've already arrested so many people for disobeying the stay-at-home order, even when people are nowhere near other people. Like, they arrested this one dude for, like, surfing way more than 6 feet away from everybody. Like, there's no one around him, and they still roped him in and harassed him about being out and stuff like that. They had cuffed this mom who was at the park with her kids, not really interacting with anyone else. You know, it was just her and her kids at the park.
Okay, this is not... What is this? Officer, you don't want to do that.
As the mom is led away, others protest.
He is arresting her for being on a public playground.
In a statement, cops say mom of two, Sarah Brady, was charged with trespassing after failing to adhere to the rules in these very trying times.
And they arrested this delivery dude for disobeying the curfew.
Take a look at this video. This is from Twitter. Mayor de Blasio says he has seen this video and called it troubling. It shows a DoorDash delivery driver getting arrested while out, well, delivering food. You can even see his red food delivery bag. The woman who tweeted the video said the man looked scared.
But you have all these people packed together going down the street, literally like mashed together, bodies so close together. Some of them have masks on, some of them have masks like half on, some of them have like masks off. How is that protocol? How is that sanitary? There's a statement made by over 1,000 health experts saying, as public health advocates, we do not condemn these gatherings as risky for COVID-19 transmission. This should not be confused with a permissive stance on all gatherings, particularly protests against stay-at-home orders. So apparently coronavirus 100% supports Black Lives Matter, and she won't come for you. She won't come for you if you go out with the intent of supporting Black Lives Matter. But if you go out to protest anything else, especially the stay-at-home order, that's it. You're done with. She's coming for you, and it's it. You're done. So lucky that coronavirus has an opinion and it respects the Black Lives Matter movement. Thank you, Rona. Thank you so much. But that's so dumb. Like, if it's a serious virus, it doesn't care what intention you go out with. You go out, you get it. That's how sicknesses work. So you can only go out if you have a certain ideal, and if you don't have that ideal or those intentions, you can't go out. You're under arrest. If we don't see a spike in the coronavirus cases in 2 weeks, then the whole lockdown and stay-at-home order was for nothing. We let our economy plummet for what? We lost so many millions of jobs for what? What was the point of staying home if we just realized that it don't do nothing? Thousands of people in each city across the entire country of America gathered and marched all together, totally not 6 feet apart, disobeying the stay-at-home, and if they don't get it, then something's amiss and something's suspicious. Meanwhile, on the flip side of not talked about news, because all we're currently talking about is the Black Lives Matter and the marches and the protests and the riots and things like that, Hillary Clinton has had her hearing and she is trying to get out of going to her deposition.
And Hillary Clinton trying to get out of answering questions about her use of a private email server again. Oh, yes, and she wants to avoid anything to do with the deadly 2012 attack in Benghazi. Attorneys for Clinton and her former chief of staff, Cheryl Mills, asking an appellate court to overturn a judge's order granting Judicial Watch's request for their depositions. Let's find out what's really going on. Tom Fenton, the president of Judicial Watch. Tom, great to have you with us. And your thoughts about, are you really not going to be able to question Hillary Clinton after all of this?
Well, I hope not. If we're any other litigant, they'd be pushed out of court pretty darn quickly. She filed what is known as a writ of mandamus, which is, according to the Justice Department, an extraordinary remedy that should only be used in exceptional circumstances of peculiar emergency or public importance. And obviously, that doesn't cover Mrs. Clinton having to go under oath about her email misconduct. She says she has an indisputable right not to be questioned under oath. And we've laid out the many issues that are outstanding that the court also wants answered. She's not above the law, and we hope the appellate court quickly dismisses it.
Hillary lost her appeal, and now she's trying to avoid her deposition, saying that, oh, they're just going to use this for political gain in the Republican Party, and Trump's going to win, and they're going to look down on Democrats and things like that, and saying that it's not worth her time to leave her house, and they want to do it online. And she's trying to find these really terrible, awful excuses to get out of going to her deposition. And the judge is like, yeah, you still have to go. Like, you're under investigation. You have all these emails, so suspicious. And they're like, well, we didn't collect them from everybody else it was sent to, so therefore we can't. She knows whatever she did was wrong. She's trying to avoid it because that's such obvious jail time for her. But no one's talking about it. None of the major news networks, none of them are talking about it. Apparently there are some like small stations talking about it. It got taken down. They're trying to cover it up. No one's talking about this. Everybody's talking about the Black Lives Matter movement and the marches and things like that. So in the beginning of Donald Trump's election, he had promised and made a condition to lock Hillary Clinton up. So Hillary Clinton is this close to being thrown in prison, but it's up to Donald Trump to push all the way through and make sure that she gets what has been coming to her since 2016. It's kind of like the same way Abraham was cutting the offerings. He was cutting the calf, he was cutting the goat or sheep or like some other smaller animal, and then he finally had to cut the dove. But he gave in to his fatigue, he went to sleep, and his offerings were destroyed and eaten. If Donald Trump does not continue to the very last sliver, last semester of his term as president to put Hillary away, then he has not completed the condition in which he set out to complete in the beginning of 2016 when he was elected. Someone has to go to jail. Someone has to pay for the crimes committed against this country. Otherwise, if not, then we're just going to repeat this cycle and this country's going to be in more and more pain. If we let Hillary Clinton go, then we're setting the condition that you can do bad things to us, but you'll get off and you can come back and do it again. Someone has to be punished for the crimes committed in this country, to this country. And if not, then this country's going to suffer because we've shown that we're willing to let evil go. We're willing to let it slide. And evil is evil and it will come back and hurt us even more. If Donald Trump doesn't finish this condition, who knows what evils will come back into America because we've allowed it to, because evil hasn't been punished. And so we've shown that evil is not punished in this country. And so evil will continue to fester in this country because we've shown that there are no consequences to being evil if we let Hillary go. There's a Bible passage in the DP that says, he said unto him, bring me a heifer 3 years old, and a she-goat 3 years old, a ram 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he brought him all these, cut them in two, and laid half over against each other. But he did not cut the birds in two. And when the birds of prey came down upon the carcasses, Abraham drove them away. As the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell on Abram. And lo and dread, a great darkness fell upon him. Then the Lord said to Abraham, know of surety that your descendants will be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and will be slaves there, and they will be oppressed for 400 years. Because Abraham did not cut the dove and pigeon in two as he should have, birds of prey came down and defiled the carcasses. As a result of this mistake, the Israelites were destined to enter Egypt and suffer hardships for 400 years. Donald Trump needs to make sure that he completes his condition in putting Hillary in prison. Otherwise, we've set this bad condition in which bad things will happen to our descendants and us as a country. Just like Abraham with the doves and his descendants were all slaves for like 400 years. Who knows what's going to happen to us if he doesn't complete this condition.